Hello and welcome back to my channel. In the past year, I've done a lot of videos on the Sienna Hybrid, and this video is no exception. So I want to talk about how nice this vehicle is for not only nomad life, but just road tripping in general. I just got off an 8-hour drive yesterday, which is about as much as I want to drive in a day. Sometimes I do more, but it's nicer to do less. Okay, the first thing is obviously the very good gas mileage. So I'm getting between 33 and 36 miles per gallon, even with the rooftop box on top. And that also equates to a long range. I can go 500 miles between Phillips typically, and that is great. Also, you've got the legendary Toyota reliability, which so far this vehicle has been perfect, no issues. Of course, it is new, and I've got coming up on 50,000 miles now. These next three things I'm sure are included on many new cars, but to me it's kind of new, coming from a history of driving used vehicles. The first one is the adaptive cruise, which lets you set a speed on the freeway, and then it adjusts. If you get too close to a vehicle in front of you, it'll keep a certain amount of car lengths, and you can adjust that. Like there's a setting for 3, 2, or 1 as far as how close you want to be to the vehicle in front of you. And it even slows you down as you approach, which is great. The second one is the blind spot warning, which is on the mirrors. And man, that's hard to live without that once you've had it. It gives you a warning if someone's in your blind spot. So that's great as a safety feature. And the third thing is the steering assist, which helps keep you in your lane. Now, I know some people don't like that, and sometimes it is annoying because it'll nudge the wheel, but I find it a good feature and I'm used to it. So for the trim package I have, I enjoy a pretty good stereo. There is an upgraded version on, I think, the premium or whatever. You can get an even better stereo with a subwoofer, but I find this one's pretty good, which is important for road tripping. My trim level is all-wheel drive, which I really like, especially for those backcountry roads, the forest roads, the BLM land, sandy conditions. It's great to have. Another thing I enjoy in this trim level is the sunroof. It's just great to have to get some light in. Although in the extreme sun that I've been in lately out west, I actually close it some of the time just so you're not getting beamed in by the sun 100% of the time. But I do enjoy having that. Now there are some possible negatives here to the Sienna. First of all, the seat that I'm sitting in, it's okay. It's not super comfortable, and it's possible on a higher trim level you could get a comfier seat. And then I know for a fact that the passenger seat is definitely not even as comfy as this one, from people that I've taken for rides. So it's okay in that regard. Not terrible, but not super cushy either. Another thing is the suspension and ground clearance. Now, obviously, this is a minivan, not an SUV, not an off-road vehicle, but I've taken it on some pretty rough roads to get into the backcountry, and it does okay. I would say the suspension is decent. Obviously, I'm kind of loaded down with gear, maybe too much gear and too much weight, so I'll have to experiment with that. And then, of course, the ground clearance is what it is. So you just gotta pick your lines carefully on those roads and go slowly. I do have a hitch on the back, which I may get rid of at some point. We'll see. It's handy to throw the bike on the back rack sometimes. So for now, I'm keeping it. Now I'm looking into raising the ground clearance with a lift kit, and that's definitely a possibility. Even going with larger tires, more gnarly tires for a better grip. Totally a possibility, but then I would think that would hurt the mileage on the freeway for the long distance highway driving. So, you can't have everything when it comes to a vehicle. And then obviously the mileage isn't amazing like a Prius would be, or obviously an electric vehicle that doesn't use gas. So, there's room for improvement there, but for the amount of space that you get, I think 33 to 36 miles per gallon is pretty great. So to sum up, I think this is a great vehicle for road tripping, nomad life, especially if you're going to drive a lot. And that's the key. A bigger high top van would be nicer, but obviously it's going to cost more to drive. So this is the compromise that I chose for now, and I think it's working out great. So I really do enjoy this vehicle for road tripping and nomad life so far. All right, so that's it for this one. Take care, and we'll see you down the line.